What does honesty mean to you and your child? Here's a few ways to kind of help work with them to better understand the definition of honesty and how they can implement it in their lives. I hope you enjoy. Howdy folks, it's Jake with NinjaFit. Today we're talking about the tenet of honesty that we use in our martial arts facility here. A lot of martial arts places use this with their kids. They have certain words and life lessons they want to build around those words for kids to start understanding. So we use honesty and about 5 others on a pretty regular basis for kids to kind of grow into and grow up with. So that way we challenge them to use these and give us examples of how they're using these in their lives. So honesty, when I always ask the kids, and I got to remind them, don't give me the word and the definition. What does it mean to you? They always say, well, just be honest, right? I want them to understand what the way I try to tell it is, it just means tell the truth, right? Always tell the truth. Don't lie. And usually they'll understand that pretty well. Then I want to ask follow-up questions, right? Once they understand what it means to me, then I say, why do you think that's important to know? Why do you think it's important to be honest? And give them a second to think about it. See what kind of answer they come up with back to you. For me, I tell them, well, if they have a hard time understanding that or coming up with an answer for me, it's because I want people to trust me. I want people to like me better when and they'll do that if they know they can believe me, right? If they think I'm always lying to them, they're never going to trust me. And I'm not really a likable person. They're not going to come to me for problems they're having or anything like that. I want people to trust me and to think highly of me. So for me to do that, for me to get that reputation, I need to be able to be honest, right? Then follow up with that past that point, right? You talked about the why it's important. Then ask them about, okay, so see if you can think of a time in your life when you, or if they have trouble, if they're so young and they haven't had a whole lot of opportunities thinking about visualizing or mentalizing the times in their lives and all that in their recent activities. Okay, give me a time when maybe you or someone you know, either you saw mom or dad do this or you saw a friend do this, didn't tell the truth and you got caught, right? That's a fun conversation to have. Well then, how did that make you feel? Okay, so make them bring that up, make them think about that from that aspect of it. Okay, then maybe turn that around the next week or something when you're having conversations with them. Okay, can you give me an example of a time you were honest, that you did tell the truth, even though maybe you didn't want to? Well, mom and dad asked me to brush if I brushed my teeth before I went to bed, and I went, no, sorry, and okay, what happened? Did you get in trouble, or did they say, okay, now go do it? Well, they just said go brush your teeth. Okay, and how did you feel after that? Do you feel like, because you were honest, that they can trust you a little bit better, and maybe your level of relationship goes up and builds every time you're more honest with them? I never thought of it like that, but yeah, I guess, So kind of try to find these things, examples of them, and I talk to them. We do this over a 12-week cycle. Every 12 weeks I give them a new word they've got to think about and all that. And every week I come up with a different question about why, or how they've seen this in their life, or how they've used this, whether recently or in the past, for good or for bad, those kinds of things, right? Then another thing to think about is this, you can kind of tell as you're having these conversations with your kids whether or not this is something they think about regularly. If it's something that's important to you, like it is for us, so this is the reason why I teach. I don't just want people to learn how to kick and punch. I do want them to learn how to defend themselves, yes, all those things, but I want to help grow them into better people for the future, right? So this is why I feel it's important to have these conversations with the kids in our classes. If you agree with that and you feel like it's important to kind of bring that up every now and then and have these conversations pretty regularly with your kids, then as you're talking about it with them, see if they're having a hard time thinking about any instances, times when they've been honest or showed courtesy or anything like that, or any of these words that we might use, then they're probably not already thinking about these. It's not a focus in their daily life. And that having these conversations and challenging them to think about past experiences and hopefully future experiences and all that, and how they might act, then that changes their focus a little bit and helps them focus on these specific things, so that helps them become a better person and they know why they're doing this, right? So that's what I got for you today. Start with this honesty conversation. Maybe have this for about a week or so with your kids. Challenge them each day to try to think about something, whether it's in the past, their daily life that just happened today, or maybe future scenario. Okay, well, let's say you got caught for this in the past, whatever, when mom or dad asked you to brush your teeth before bed, and you said you did, but you didn't, and we said, "Come here, let me smell your breath," and I can smell it, right? then let's talk about that going forward in the future. Do you see how I'm always going to check on you and whatever, and I'm always going to expect that you're honest with me? I would love for one day for our relationship to be strong enough that I believe you're telling me the truth, that I don't need to check your breath or double check your homework when you tell me you did it. Those kinds of things, right? Have those conversations, past, present, future scenarios, and I hope it helps them grow into someone that you feel like you can trust and that other people can trust more. So enjoy this and be safe out there. If you enjoyed some of these helpful tips for how to have these discussions with your kids about self-defense topics, I'd really suggest checking out Damsel in Defense's Safe Hearts books. They've got a lot of cute books in here that really good colored pictures for the kids to look at as you read along with them. And in the back of each book, there's even a little section with some questions to help guide the conversation further about, okay, now how did Becky deal with this peer pressure situation, and what do you think she could have done differently? Or, I mean, there's all sorts of good questions in there for you. But before you do that, I really recommend checking out their Proactive Parent Guide to help prepare you for having these difficult conversations with your kids. But those books are great helps. I'll put some links on the page here for you to look at, and I really hope they help. Thanks.